Alright, now we are ready to add a nice footer for our website. Okay, so let's go to our index.html file, and before creating our footer, we are just going to add a div of class clear, okay, following the floating elements, the left sidebar and the right sidebar. Okay, and now let's add our footer. So I'm going to use the footer tag for this. Okay, and we're going to give it a class footer that we're going to be styling in a bit. Okay, and inside the footer we are going to place a div. Okay, I can put a paragraph inside it where we're going to be writing some text. Okay, so company name, okay, and then copyright, and to create this symbol we're going to use an HTML entity. So we're going to make it using ampersand copy. Okay, and then after that we're going to write 2010 2015. Okay, all right, now let's style our footer. So let's go to the styling sheet and create a new line. For the footer class. Okay, so let's give it a height of 50 pixels or 60. Okay, also let's give it some background color. So we're going to use background as we're going to be using the linear gradient. So linear gradient, and then the first color is going to be the top one, and the second one is going to be the bottom one. Okay, here we go. So that looks nice. Now we're going to need to add some padding. Okay, so I'm going to use only two values. So for the top and bottom, let's go for 10 pixels. And for the left and right hand sides, let's go for 20 or 30 pixels. That looks better. Okay. And also let's add some margin there to create a gap between the footer and the other elements before. So we're going to use margin top only. And let's set that to 10 pixels or even 15 pixels. Okay. One last point before we finish. If we go back to our text input there, we can see that the border is darker than the target one. Okay. And the reason why is because there is actually some styling for this border. Okay, that we need to use. So let's get the color of the border first. It's actually this one. Okay, and let's go back to our text input styling and add a border property there. So we're going to set the width to 1 pixel and choose solid styling and paste the color. And now we can see that our border looks better. Okay, And just one more point before we finish. Let's just set the font property to our page. So let's go to the beginning of our CSS file and select the body and then set the font property. Okay, so at the beginning I'm going to start with Arial. If it doesn't work, we're going to move to Helvetica, and finally we are going to move to sans serif. Okay. Just one comment before we finish. Regarding cross-browser compatibility, whenever we use a gradient function, like linear gradients, we need to add a few more lines to make sure that this is going to work in all browsers. So the other lines are going to be similar to the first line. We are just going to be adding something at the beginning of the function. So for the first one, we're going to add WebKit or minus sign WebKit minus sign for Safari, and then minus sign O minus sign for Opera, and then minus sign Moz minus sign for Firefox. And we're going to do the same thing wherever we have a gradient function. Alright, now let's save all our files and then upload our website to the server. So I'm going to open FireFTP. You can use the free accounts we have created earlier in the HTML section of this course, or any other account you want. I'm going to use my Complete Web Development course website for this. So I have created a folder websites inside the root directory of the website. Okay, and I'm going to copy the Maths websites project folder in there using the upload arrow. Okay, so now I've got my project folder in there. Okay, so to access the index.html file, I would need to type the address of the website followed by /websites and then / the name of the project folder. Let's change the name of this folder. Okay, and take out all the spaces so that it's easy to type in the address bar. Okay. All right, so now if we type the website's name followed by the websites folder and then the other folder, we're going to land in the index.html file here. Okay, and we can see our website there. All right. Now let's make sure that our website is XHTML compliant. XHTML is more or less strict HTML, and it means that we are following all the strict HTML rules. For example, we need all the tag names to be in lowercase, and also we want our documents to be well structured, tags closed, and so on. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to use a website for this. It's going to be in the w3.org website. Okay, so we're going to type the address of our website there, and let's check. And we can see that the document check-in is completed and we have no errors or warnings. Okay. All right. Congratulations, you have just created a nice website from scratch using HTML and CSS. And you had the opportunity to review and practice many of the skills that you have learned in the HTML and CSS chapters of this course. If you have made something different, or if you have changed the design, then I would be very interested in seeing what you have done. So please post the